DB Network, Coach D Magic here, former D1 defensive back with another DB video. So we're going over, I believe this is week 8 of the NFL season, the best one-on-one clips. One thing you're going to see, I guess the theme of like the first half of this video is these tight splits, all right? So that X receiver, that wide receiver, now all of a sudden he's very close to the line of scrimmage, all right? So the tackle's right there. He's about 5-6 yards from the tackle. So when we get these tight splits, what are we expecting? He's either making room for the outside or he's looking to get across the field. Now Diggs didn't have the best week just overall on and off the field, but he has a good rep here. He anticipates that the receiver is trying to get over right away, so you get these shallow routes, these deep over routes. So he's going to jump inside to get hands on the receiver. Now, it basically just depends on what you see on film, all right? So if on film, every time he gets tight, he's getting over to the other side of the field, then yes, why not get over there, jump inside leverage, okay? Still stay square, still step laterally, but get hands on right away because we know he's going over. Does a good job of being aggressive here. Be careful not to hold on too long. Pull jersey, but stays in phase, makes a play. Good play by him. On this next play, we get another tight split. So again, he's very tight. So again, on film, what are you getting? Is he going over right away, or is he tight to make room for the outside route? All right. So Christian Gonzalez, he's savvy as well. We're going to be outside leverage. He does a good job of protecting his outside leverage initially, stepping laterally. All right. Staying square, forcing the receiver to go inside. And then we want to stay on that receiver's low hip, because if he inside releases, all right, and he goes and he works over, then we want to be able to get under it. I don't know what this is. What is this? I don't know. I don't know what kind of route that is, but he does a good job of staying hip to hip with the receiver, keeping his eyes disciplined. I really love that about him. He has disciplined eyes. And then once he gets in phase, gets his eyes back for the ball. But again, guys, when you're watching on film, are they aligned tight to go outside? What are they doing? Are they running out and ups? Are they running corner routes, 10 and outs? Or are they getting across the field? So these tight splits will give you a indicator on what to expect on the route. On this next play, I love Alontae Taylor. A lot of people are saying his play is the reason why they traded away Lattimore. So we get another tight split. He takes an outside step, stays square. The receiver goes inside. We get hands on. And like I said, is he tight to go in or is he tight to go out? He goes in. Once he goes in, you want to eventually work under this route here, okay? We can make this play from the upfield shoulder, the high shoulder. So this is the high shoulder, the shoulder that is highest, or the upfield shoulder, the shoulder that's upfield. But if you have middle field safety, so you wouldn't really do this in quarters where you don't have middle field safety help. But if you have middle field safety help, this is regular cover one, you can go ahead and get under this route here. He also, not also, but I really think he could have just picked this off. But good job fighting pressure with pressure at the top of the route. All right. He's going to lean on you so that he can make room for the outside route. So we want to anticipate that by fighting pressure with pressure. So we're basically leaning on him as he's leaning on us so that when he breaks, we're not too far out of position and we can recover and make a play like he does here. Alontae Taylor again, and I'm going to let this play, but I love this play because even though it's a drop, some people are going to say, oh, he dropped it. But this is what I tell my guys all the time, all right? When you do your technique to the best of your ability, exactly the way it's coached, it forces the offense to execute at a high level. It forces the offense to be perfect. And they say perfect offense beats, perfect defense. But ask yourself, DBs, how many times can offenses at your level execute perfectly, play in and play out, play in and play out? They can't, okay? Maybe 1 out of every 10 times everything can be perfect when we do what we're supposed to do with our technique. Like I said, tight split, He goes inside. We try to get to the top of the route here, fight pressure with pressure. We slice the hip. He does a good job of not looking back right away because the ball is going to be delivered on the other side of the hashes, not in the middle of the field, especially if it's this type of mesh route. Accelerate to the hip, accelerate, 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 accelerate. If we never get there, we don't look back for the ball. We just want to close space and look to play the hands. And a perfect ball was not met with the perfect catch. I really like this because I'll take this defense 10 out of 10 times. And like I said, if that ball's not perfect, we get our hands on it. If that catch isn't perfect, we're going to be able to punch that ball out. So there's not much I can say about this. Yeah, he dropped the ball, but offense has got to execute. Force them to execute. Here we are in the slot, all right, versus a big tight end. All right, so I deal with this a lot when I'm coaching. Offenses are very kind of, how can I say this, predictable in the sense that our big tight end, we're going to put him in the slot and we're just going to run big tight end routes. We're going to run corners. We're going to run back shoulder fades. Like literally that's all you're getting. But anyways, he's playing catch technique. So we got to be at different levels. All right. We all can't press. So he's going to press. We're going to play about 4 yards, 5 yards. And he's going to play off of that 6 yards. 6 yards off. So we want to be at all different levels, and we all gotta play laterally. So we all gotta slide so that we don't pick each other. If you open the gate, you're gonna get picked. So he does a good job getting hands on early, and then we do a good job of step and replacing, sliding here. Outside leverage. He takes an outside step initially. You guys notice, all right, the theme here is that when you're outside leverage, they're all taking their first step laterally into the outside. Play the percentages. Slide, step, and replace, slide, and we catch the receiver. I wouldn't say that at the top of the route, but at the, I would say the junction point, my coach used to say. At the junction point. So now when we catch, if you're on top of this route, you have to be aware of the back shoulder, okay? Especially a bigger receiver, they love the back shoulder. So the quarterbacks and the receivers, they game plan this, they practice this. If we're on top of the vertical, they're going to back shoulder it. Let the big receiver play big. Get chest to chest here. Get your eyes back for the ball. Next play, I think this is really good lateral movement initially by Tyreek Woolen. On Cooper Kupp. I just don't like the hold, stay square, stay lateral with our footwork. Allows us to get hands on the receiver. I just don't like the tug here, but I love the footwork. Also down here, all right, tight split, outside leverage, outside step, staying square, step replace, catch technique. All right, protecting the goal line. We're drawing our line in the sand. The goal line is our line in the sand. Don't give too much ground down here. All right, we want to anchor down, and he gets hands on, chest to chest. Good technique here. I like this play. I don't know if 11 is a safety or a linebacker. I just like the eye discipline, guys. When we're beat, all right, it's the hardest thing to get kids to understand is that when you're beat, the worst thing you want to do is look back for the ball, drive to the receiver, all right? Drive to the catch point. If you're running a race, are you faster looking at the finish line or looking and waving at your parents on the sideline? All right? So that's the analogy I use, and it seems to click. Oh, yeah. If I'm looking at the finish line is, all right here. This is the finish line, all right? How fast can you get there? Can you get there looking back this way? Are you faster looking back or are you faster just driving? All right. And a lot of guys, they're so interception. They're fiending for interceptions, right? They're trying to get these interceptions. And like at the end of the day, if you're looking back when you're in trail position, when you're not in phase, when you're not in touch with that hip, you're praying for a bad ball. Like, because it has to be a ball behind the receiver in order for us to get to it. So he does a good job driving. And as we're looking to close space to that hip, receiver presents his hands and we play the hands. All right. A pass breakup is okay. You're not always going to get interceptions. Think pass breakups and man coverage. Good eye discipline here by 11 to finish. Play through the hands. And this play, I really like this play. I'm going to slow this play down. The technique, like at the end of the day, he's a good DB. And you can't always have an answer for why someone is able to do certain things. So the one thing that I think we all can take from this is that you have to understand route breaking points. So if you play offense, and most of you guys should be playing both ways, so you should understand where receivers are taught to break the routes. All right. So the comeback in most playbooks, all right, most playbooks I've seen, the comeback is at 15 yards. All right. When you get, I guess, I don't know, maybe in the youth programs, maybe it's shorter, maybe 12, maybe high school could be 12. But I would say 12 to 15. Let's just say 12 to 15 yards when you get that comeback. 15 is the max. So my coach used to always tell me we want to have our eyes on the receiver for the first 15, eyes down at the hip for the first 15. Once we feel ourselves get past 15, then we convert for the fade ball. So let's count. All right, so this is the 4-yard mark. So let's just call this the 5-yard mark. All right, so let's say 5, 10, and right at 15. Okay, right at that 15, 14. All right, depending on how we count from the start. But let's just say right at that 15-yard mark is where he starts to break that down. All right, so the DB does a good job of keeping his eyes down at the receiver for the first 15. All right, and then once we get that long stride, all right, we see that deceleration. He does a good job putting his arm around the waist. Boom, so that when we stop, we can kind of stay with the receiver here. All right, but good job staying disciplined for the first 15, anticipating that comeback, staying tight. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm going to bring out more content. I'm going to try to get these out weekly. I know I missed a week, so this might – correct me if I'm wrong. This is either week 8 or week 9. I know I missed a week. But, again, if you want to master DB, press man, slot man, off man, safety drills, speed and agility, weight room program, how to develop a pro mindset, we have all that in our DB Mastery program. Go to thedbnetwork.com.